how to make attitude adjustments and lifestyle changes that can change your life. All right. How's your attitude doing? Good? Good. Who controls your attitude? And what's the attitude need to be?
Good.
Positive, 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 right? The positive face of Parkinson's. You saw it here. You know, I always say people that can't smile can laugh. So you got no excuses with me. And you got to hold on to that positive attitude I tell to you every time I speak with you. And you set that disposition. You're going to take control of your life, and you're going to plan your life, and you're going to live on a conscious level with this disease, because it's only Parkinson's disease. Now, it's challenging, isn't it? No? No? Some of you have figured it out. Some of you have found your own way to live and to live well with it. The key is to live well with it. How many of you can say to me, Marilyn, I'm living well, or I'm living the best of my ability, or I'm giving it my best shot? How many of you are doing that? Absolutely, you're doing it. Absolutely, you're doing it, because, you know, I see you and I watch you. I watch you in here. I watch your attention when I talk to you. I watch your attention when you're with Kathy and doing her classes. I watch your will and your determination when you're in there with Toya trying to get stronger, you know, with your big program. So you've got what it takes to live well. But it all comes from inside of you, your will and your spirit, your disposition, and your attitude. So if you're not playing a positive note, you got to flip it over. You got to flip it over, because you're not going to enjoy life if you're not happy, and you're not going to be happy with Parkinson's disease or any other time in your life if you're not playing the positive note. So how many of you set your disposition? How many of you say, I choose? I choose to be positive. I choose to be in control. I choose to be compliant with my doctor. I choose to have a respectful relationship with my loved one and my caregiver. I choose. Because you're going to choose to either live or not live well with this disease. And I want you to live like you're alive. Does that make sense? Live like you're alive, consciously. Every thought, every action, every deed. Be positive and be grateful and keep moving forward. Now, what are some of the challenges of Parkinson's disease? Because I don't want to get up here like a cheerleader up here on my little perch, you know, and say it's easy, just do what I say. I always pay tribute to and respect the challenges that you're facing. And this disease, I'm here to tell you, is the toughest one out there. And I've done them all. This is a tough disease because guess what? It affects all aspects of you. Right? It's not just picking on one little thing that you can fix. It's taking a whack at everything. Everything. Physically, how many of you have been impacted physically? Just a little bit. The tremor, the slowness, the rigidity, the freezing, the poor balance, the falls, the loss of dexterity. That's not fun, is it? No? How about mentally? Mentally, what happens to that cognition? Not quite as quick as it was, right? What happened to the memory? Oh, whoops. What was I saying? Where was I going? But that's me, and I don't have Parkinson's, so lighten up out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame everything on Parkinson's disease, because guess what? We are mature, sensational seniors, everybody in the room, but Dusty.
Yes,
Yes, did you hear what did I say? We're not old. We're not worn out. Well, you slide in there too, probably. Oh, yeah. Lynn and Brad, they're sliding through, they're not seniors. I'm going to do the senior, the cutoff is what for a senior?
9.
But Dusty tells me 55.
Oh, 65.
Oh, 65, I feel better. When did that happen?
Isn't that AARP?
AARP.
It's over 50.
AARP is 50 because I started getting my stuff and I put them in the trash can for 15 years before I opened my magazine.
Okay, retirement age.
Huh?
Okay, retirement age.
62.
Yeah, so we'll go with that, okay? Okay, so don't blame everything on Parkinson's disease because you are a senior and we slow down a little bit. What is the aging process? Who knows what the aging process is? Simple. Oh, you're glazing. The chocolate chip cookies kicked in. Alright? It's nothing more than wear and tear on the human body. That's all it is. That's all aging is. Am I right? The wear and tear, the heart gets tired, the muscles get tired, you know, the skin gets worn out. But it's great to grow old. What's so great about growing old? I used to give this talk 20 years ago. What's so great about growing old? You're still around.
Yeah.
You're on the right side of the grass, my daddy always said. I used to call Daddy, how you doing, Daddy? He'd say, I'm doing terrific. I woke up when I'm on the right side of the grass. Right? Okay, so don't break everything on Parkinson's, but with Parkinson's disease, you do experience a little impaired cognition, you know, your thought process, your executive decisions and commands slow down, your memory wavers a little bit. That's okay, but that's another way that it's affecting you. What about emotionally? Does it hit you emotionally? Is this a happy disease? A happy disease makes you feel great?
Sure.
I'm just loving having Parkinson's, and I really love being a caregiver. No.
It goes away, these bad feelings, if there are any, the minute you step into your...
Oh, thank you, my sweet girl. She's my #1 cheerleader, aren't you? Yeah. Rah, 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 sis, boom, bah.
Oh, me too.
Huh? And here's another cheerleader. Right. All right. Thank you, Noah, for saying that. What was I talking about? You gave me such a nice courtesy. You touched my heart, and I missed to be. What was I talking about? Who knows what I'm
If you
talking about?
love Parkinson's, it's like it's right. Yeah.
Oh, emotionally, but you don't love having it. And most of the words that when I say "how does it make you feel," because an emotion is nothing more than a feeling. And with the human mind, the human spirit, it really doesn't matter how you are physically. What really matters is how you feel. Doesn't matter how you are. I don't care how you are. The only thing that matters to me is how you feel. So how does it make you feel?
Parkinson's?
Yeah. This is a feeling. What are you feeling? Wake up, please.
A variety of feelings.
What are you feeling, Brian?
Right now I'm feeling good, but sometimes I don't feel that good.
That's right.
I try to feel good, but when I don't feel.
Yeah, Brian made a good point. You know, it's a real roller coaster, isn't it? You know, you're really feeling good, and then something happens, and then you don't feel so great, and you know the variabilities during the course of an hour. I can't even say how you doing today. I have to say how you doing now. How you doing this minute? All right, because all of a sudden things can change, and you think you're controlling how you're feeling and how you're doing, and this disease has a mind of its own. Okay. But most of the emotions related to Parkinson's disease aren't the positive, pretty ones. They're the difficult ones. The frustration and the fear and the anger and the anxiety. Am I right? Did I forget any?
Probably.
I always forget something, don't I? And then the other thing too that it affects you is it affects you socially.
Yeah, it does.
And this is why we built this place around you. And I'm so pleased because it's the last component that I realized was missing when I tried to build something perfect for you. And I want you to know that Parkinson Place was built exclusively around you. I did nothing more than take a look at you, identify your needs, and try to give it to you. All right? But the one thing we were missing was the sociability. And now your ability to eat together and to party together and to dance together is very important. Am I right?
Right.
Because at best, we live in a world that has its own standards for what is normal. And I've heard so many times people say, well, my life has changed, I can't do this anymore, I can't do that anymore. So sometimes you don't go to the same activities or you don't enjoy the same friendships. So what? You create your own. How many of you have had to do that? Yeah, life changes. Life changes every decade in life anyway. You know, how many of you had the same best friend you had in high school? Oh, jeez. Well, I guess that shut me up, didn't it?
Not everybody.
Well, thank you. Somebody stick up for me, will you? Because I had my 50th high school reunion last summer, and it wasn't a time that I could get out of town. And so I read the roster, and I kind of thought, well, I want to go, you know. But I went to my 35th, and I didn't I thought I was in the wrong party. I mean, it was this big hotel in downtown Philadelphia, and I was like, I know I'm in the wrong room. And I was so sad. I'm not sad, but
It wasn't the
they
right.
had really changed, you know? I hadn't changed, but they had
You
changed.
have to make new friends and keep these.
Right. So it amazed me because probably 80% of my class, and I graduated out of Philadelphia, they stayed within a very close circumference. It amazed me. 85% of us. There were only 5 of us out of state.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I did that.
I grew up in a beautiful town, but that is ridiculous. So now I'm thinking, I haven't seen these people since 1963. So when you're saying,
I'm saying to make new friends and keep the old.
that's exactly right. So if
I
you're
still
lucky
stay
enough,
in touch with those people I knew in 5th grade, but I have a lot of new friends. And
yeah.
when you're talking about how you feel about Parkinson's, I have met a lot of wonderful people living with Parkinson's, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I think that's well said, and thank you. That, you know, sometimes when you're asked to accept the challenge, you know, it makes you bigger and better than you ever thought that you would be. And it's going to, and the people around your life are bigger and better and more special than anybody else in the public arena. So it merges you with the best. Because I'm here to tell you, I think people living and standing tall with this disease are the best. They maintain their esteem, they maintain their pride, they hold on to their life, they hold on to their relationships, they try. You know, they have a will behind anything that I have ever seen. I think the courage to live with this disease far outweighs anything else. You need to be brave to stand up because this disease is trying to get you to sit down and stay down. Have you noticed that? This disease isn't pulling you up. It's slowing you down and sitting you down and making it harder for you to get up, making every day a little bit more difficult than the day before. So your need to adjust your attitude to say, this is my life, I own it, I'm going to make decisions, I'm going to be positive, I'm going to have a great life with Parkinson's disease. Because as much as I talk to you, and as much as we try to motivate, I motivate you, but the empowerment to do that comes from where? Within. And it's the responsibility of every Parkinson patient to establish that positivity and the command over the life. Not your caregiver. Your caregiver's there to nudge you and to love you and to pat on you, encourage you. All right, but you can't feed off of that. You can't pull their power and their strength. They're going to help you and they're going to promote you. But you have to seed and feed it for yourself. Your esteem, your determination, your mindset, all comes from inside of you. And you got everything it takes. So I don't accept any excuses with this. Everything that you need to live well with this disease is where? It's inside of you. I always say it's hiding out in your toes. Pull it out. Redefine your life. Redefine your life. I can't do this anymore, so what? You know, it's an exercise in futility to try to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Give up the past. You know, you can't, I always say, I made this comment to someone this week, you can't run forward looking back. All right?
You have to live in the present.
You got to live right now with a clear focus of what have I got today that is wonderful? What can I do today? Who are the precious people in my life? What are the great things that I can do today? All right? And redefine your life. You should be doing this anyway because otherwise you're going to be bored to tears. Every so many years you got to redefine and really take a look at how is my life. Does it
Start
sound
over numerous times
Right.
a day.
Well, yeah, I know I do. And so don't be afraid to do that. Give up the past. Engage in the present and hope for the future. Those 3 things you hold in the front of your head. It's nice to be nice. It's nice to be nice. It's nice to reach out and help others. It amazes me in here how you watch over and how you help each other. You know, I watch you and you can barely handle your own platter, but you're bringing a platter for your neighbor as well. I see you all day long do things like that, so it's a good point. Okay? It's the little things that really mean so much. I mean, it's not the big things. It's the little words of kindness, the little words of inspiration, the little hugs and kisses and touches and kindnesses, right? Okay. So, Attitude adjustments that can save your life. What do you think that I'm going to ask you to do that contributes to better health and wellness and quality of life? Because there's certain things, a lot of times you say to me, well, there's certain things with Parkinson's disease that I can't control. But there's a lot of things in your life that you do control and that I need to expect you to control, all right? Number one is what? Managing your stress. All right, this is the command of your life. This is lifestyle changes that will save your life. You notice when you're a senior, we get more and more prone to everything out there. Heart attack, stroke, diabetes, arthritis, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So certain things within your lifestyle you need to control based on an attitude that I am control and that I want the finest health and wellness that I can have so that I can live my best with Parkinson's. So stress management is huge. Pay attention to your stress. Is this a stressful disease? What's so stressful about it?
It's always changing.
It's always changing. It's one big fat guessing game, right, Brad? All right. What is stress? Stress is when you get very anxious. How many of you know when you're stressing? My caregivers, how many of you know when you're stressing? I get this. This is what they give me when I ask you, are you stressing there? What is that? You're either stressing, no you're not. Okay.
Not, you will be.
She goes like this. She's sitting right in front of me going like this. I can see her, but nobody else can. I know if you're stressing. Don't forget we have Who Cares every Tuesday morning at 10, exclusively for caregivers. It's kind of a fun Wednesday. Help me, Barry. Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Encounters with voice. Okay. Be careful with your stress. If you start becoming irritable and you can't eat, and you can't sleep, and you're cranky, you're stressing. An unhealthy amount of stress is going to really make you sick. It's going to bottom down your immune system. If you're not sleeping like you should, if you're not eating like you should, you know, if you're not doing the things that you love to do, your body's in a stressful level and it doesn't like to be there. And it'll bottom out your immune system and you will get sick, guaranteed. All right? So if you're feeling any of the signs and symptoms of stress, and I do a whole program of stress on one of these Parkinson Power topics, you need to talk to somebody about that, and you need to really lock yourself into stress management. Right? A big thing too, as well as nutrition. What are you putting in your mouth? You know you are what you eat. Who controls the hand that feeds you? Okay. Huh? The cook. Okay. Say. Oh my. The cook. Okay. Is that true? Oh, he's shaking his head. Yeah. Couple number one down there. Okay. Okay, you have to choose to eat healthy. How many of you really try to eat the best vitamins, minerals, nutrients that you can put in your mouth? You know, your body is working so hard, whether you have Parkinson's disease or your body is working so hard as a senior, as a busy caregiver, that you need to feed it right. And only you control the hand that feeds you. So make sure that what you're putting in your mouth is going to do you good. Because you deserve it. It's the only body we have. And if you want a long, healthy life, because if you don't feel good, guess what? Nothing else matters. Have you noticed that? If you don't feel good, you can have a head full of good intentions. You can have all kinds of will and desires, but if you don't feel good, the odds are you're not going to be able to do it. So how many of you are really paying attention to what goes in your mouth? Good. What's going in your mouth? What are you eating? What am I going to ask you to eat? So I want you to watch your fat consumption. I want you to watch your cholesterol levels. This is no time to go on a diet because your body needs good, healthy foods, vitamins, and minerals. The Parkinson patients, you're burning twice as many calories as those of us that do not have the disease. So you want to up your carbs, your complex carbs, not your Snickers and your jelly donuts. But you want to, or refined sugar, okay. But you need more carbs because you're burning more energy, because you're working so hard to function. This is not a time to die. I had to tell you on the way into the office this morning, there was a woman jogging that I almost had to stop my car because, do you see that tripod that Dusty's got my camera hanging, his camera up there? That was this woman. I kid you not. She was no more than 80 pounds. No body fat on her at all. And it just took me back, because I only had 2 cups of coffee in me, you know, that I thought, my goodness, how can you do that to your human body? Do you know what I'm saying? She was probably driven to run in the rain, and she looked like she hadn't had a meal in forever. Now, I respect eating disorders, but don't ever get there, and then don't ever get to the other extreme as well. Watch what goes in your mouth. You have choices. Do I eat the 16-ounce sirloin or the lean salmon? I'm throwing myself out in front of the bus again. All right, we all love meats, and red meat's limited. Highest source of cholesterol is red meat. My bottom line is, if it has a face and 4 feet, don't eat it. How's that make you feel?
She had 3 legs.
Huh? That's your red meat. Watch your red meat consumption, #1 source of cholesterol. I didn't say you could never have one again. There's great steakhouses in Sarasota. Just don't eat it every single night. Take the choice when you go out to dinner. Take the choice when you're at the meat counter that you can pick up lean poultry and beautiful fish, all right? And take a choice as opposed to what you know is right for you, because I know you're going to feel better with that. Watch your low fat, watch your dairy consumption. Watch your butter, your mayonnaise, as I just served you mayonnaise as well. That's my 10th demerit. Okay. So everything in moderation. Don't deny yourself in anything. Don't say, I'm never going to give it to yourself again. Right? Just pay attention to, I control the hand that feeds you, and that I want the best for my body. So low fat, high fiber. High fiber is really important for you. This is behavior modification. There is nothing in white bread. It's all been refined. If it's not 100% whole wheat, whole grain, guess what's in it? Nothing.
Fluff.
And a lot of times with the problems with the lack of mobility, the lack of activity with Parkinson's, constipation is one of the benchmark symptoms. Right? So with your high fiber, in your cereals, in your bagels, in your muffins, in your breads, all right, it's going to help you. Along with that, how many glasses of water a day do I want to see go in you?
8.
8 ounces. Without the scotch. One patient said to me, I said, 8 ounces, and he said, does that include my scotch and water? I said, no, it doesn't include coffee or tea. Why would they? They're diuretics, and they're going to pull fluid from the soft tissue. All right, water, preferably bottled water in the state of Florida. I had a nutritionalist, Steve Prank, teach me 25 years ago, don't drink the Florida water. I don't care where it's coming from, and I honored her, and I have never drank the Florida water ever since. All right, that's why there's bottled water. Lots of fluids, high fiber, low fat. What else? What am I forgetting? Oh, high vitamin C. How do you get your vitamin C other than a little tablet every morning?
Okay.
The citrus, the juices, you're in the state of Florida, you're in the Sunshine State. It's everywhere. Please, please, please be very, very careful with what you put in your mouth if you are having any swallowing issues. One of our members shared with me a very serious accident with choking recently, and it really scared me to death and concerns me a great deal. And I taught you before that choking, you can be choking and not cough. Did you all know that? You all already assume that you're choking, it goes down the wrong pipe, you know, it's supposed to be going into the stomach and it's going into the lungs. And you figure, well, I'm doing fine. It's going where it needs to be if I'm not choking. That's not true. You can be choking and not cough, all right? So be very, very careful and be true to yourself and true to your caregiver. If you're having increased problems with foods, You need to modify what you're eating and modifying how it's prepared. Please, please. All right? Because choking is the most serious accident with Parkinson's disease, above falls. Because what happens, it goes into the lungs, right? And you develop aspiration pneumonia. All right, so please pay attention to this. If you have to modify what you're eating, if you have to cut it smaller, if you have to cook it longer, if you have to put gravies or sauces on it, do it. If you have to have mashed potatoes instead of something else, that's fine. If you have to have applesauce instead of a hard raw apple, that's fine. This is attitude adjustments. And you tell yourself, I love the food. Always present your food in a pretty way. My Lynn, who's with me, my partner here, she won't eat off a styrofoam. She brings out the glass and the dishes all the time. Drives me crazy. And sometimes I try to stick a piece of styrofoam, right? Because I figure, oh, I have to stick it in the dishwasher. And then I see her come and I put it right back up there again. But the presentation of your food is really, really important. Don't save the good stuff. Get the dishes out and the glasses out and the napkins and put the flowers on the table. And tell yourself this food is wonderful, it's delicious, I love it, and it's the best thing I can do for me. You only have one body, you need to take care of it. All right? And it's really not up to the chef. It is to a point, but if you have your partner, I think most caregivers love on you and they want the best for you. Absolutely, and they're trying to keep you as healthy and well as possible. Right? So, you know, caregivers take part of that ownership as well. Is what are you giving them that's going to give them the carbs and the protein and the nutrients that they need to be at peak performance with this disease. So work together with this, okay? All right. Sleep, you got to get your sleep. And this is tough. Sleep disorders is big with Parkinson's disease. You've got to rest. You've got to sleep. If you have a really difficult sleep cycle, I taught you before, the human body, the senior body likes to wake up, have an agenda for the course of the day. We like to wake up, we like to have breakfast, we like to have a little routine, bada bing, bada bong. How many of you have a routine? It's very, very good. It's very, very healthy, particularly for seniors. It sets your body on a clock. It reminds you where you are. It gives you a forecast of what's coming next, right? It's 11 o'clock. And you got something going on at 1, what am I doing? I'm projecting you forward. This disease is going to try to stop you. Slow you down, keep you in the minutes. Okay, so work on the agenda, work on the routine. Don't write it in stone because life happens. Something great comes along that you can do, by all means do it. But try to get yourself on a sleep cycle. You caregivers, I encourage, if you can, if it's in the best interest of your dynamic within the home, to get on the same sleep cycle as your loved one. If they're sleeping, it's a good time for you to rest as well. Okay? Because caregivers are very often denied the sleep that they need to keep going. Okay? Exercise is the last thing you control. The 2 things that you need for better health and wellness you control, and what are they? What you put in your mouth and how much you move. And you know, every doctor, every single doctor, if they're, I hate to use this word, but I will. Any credible doctor that really is up to the minute with Parkinson's disease will endorse exercise, physical therapy, as much as you can get in. Because if you slow down with this disease, you're going to stop. If you get in the recliner, you're not going to get out. And the more you exercise, the more you move, the more you walk, the more you go through the big program, all right? The more you push yourself to stay active, the better that you're going to do. So there is your lifestyle change. If you were always a couch potato, anybody here a couch potato? No. Well, I mean, everybody shake their head. Yeah. I had a girlfriend, she adopted one of those dogs that run, a greyhound. You know those big dogs that run the track, and then when they're done racing, I don't know what they do with these poor things. So she adopts this greyhound. I knew this girl for a very long time. The dog was never anywhere but flopped out belly up on her couch. I said, how do you live with this animal? You know, that's true meaning to belly up on the sofa, you know, couch. The dog never moved. For years. I never saw the dog move. That's not where I want you. Huh?
There's no way.
Tell me somebody else has a greyhound that they adopted. You raised your hand. I apologize if I offended your dog. Huh?
My neighbors at home have 3 of them
Uh-huh.
they adopted. And they do, they'll sleep like 24 hours a day. But then when you take them out in the yard in the evening, they'll run around for a while.
Well, they're sight
and then
dogs.
they're done.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
ideal for a dog that'll want to be energetic when you're ready to walk and the rest of the time just sleep. I mean,
Yeah, at least you know where he is.
That's our
That's
dog.
a
Right.
perfect dog.
That's a perfect dog. You know where he is, you know. Okay, did this help you? Set your mind. Do an attitude adjustment. Do lifestyle changes because you're worth it. You are so worth it. You know, and you're young. You got a long way to go yet. How'd you like that comment, huh? That never came out of my mouth before, did it? Okay. I hope you had fun with this. I want you